time for Nerdgasm.
Hey, what's up guys? Jerry here, aka Barnacles, and today we're going to be unboxing my brand new HTPC build from Puget Systems in Auburn, Washington. Now, for those of you guys that don't know, Puget Systems has been working with me over the last year, and they built my last mammoth system that I call William, and we'll get to why I call it that later, but it's a dual Xeon beast with tons of memory, all solid state storage, a lot of GPU power, and it drives these three 4K 50-inch panels behind me
beautifully.
Now, I approached him at the beginning of this year saying that I needed a new HTPC for the Nerd Cave bedroom because the current PC that's in there is a Core i3 Intel with horrible AMD graphics from like back in the 80s.
Okay, that might have been a little of exaggeration, but it was horrible.
So I couldn't do any gaming, and the computer, quite frankly, struggled to even record 2 TV shows at the same time with a Seat and HD cable tuner card attached to it. So I was like, you know what? It'd be awesome if I had a computer in here that was small, air-cooled, and quiet, because my old system was louder than hell, that could handle all of my gaming that I want to do on the huge projector screen at 1080p, and also serve as my media streaming hub, and be able to record TV shows and stream them off to my NAS all at the same time. So I sat down with the Puget guys, and this is what we came up with.
Well, not the white box. What's inside of it?
All right, guys, rule number 1 of a Puget Systems computer is never throw away your boxes. You want to keep your boxes because they know how to package these things so they don't get damaged in transit. And if you need to return the PC for repairs, or you want to take advantage of their lifetime upgrades where you just pay the cost of parts and they go ahead and reinstall them, re-benchmark it, recertify it, and send it back to you, you're going to want to keep the box. We need to open a box. What should we use? Should I use scissors? Should I use a box cutter? Or should I use
Batknife?
Batknife.
Oh crap, I'm supposed to save the box. All right, so when you first open up the box here, on top, you always have an awesome little printout like this that tells you exactly how to get the computer out of the box. You also get one of these boxes, just like I got with my William build, that tells you, attention, please save your packing materials. And it also has all of your stuff that you need inside of this box for future upgrades and documentation. I'll show you in a bit. Oh, there she is. All right, so according to the instructions, we wanna go ahead and just kind of put this over on the side here like this. I gotta do one of these, and I gotta lift up on it. Yeah, like that. So the first thing you notice right on top of the box is actually a nice folder that has a picture of your actual computer on the front. It's not just a generic picture. They literally photograph every system they build from multiple angles and put it in this pamphlet and online on their website, which I'll show you in a bit. So when we open up the pamphlet, we have a little document in here from Puget Systems. It's actually an envelope with some writing on it. It has some business cards, and it talks about their philosophy that they have there, which as far as I'm concerned is just being awesome, building awesome computers, and not screwing over customers. And that's why I work with them. They also have a little insert here for e-cycle, so if the machine ever becomes obsolete, you know where to take it. Know that you don't just throw it in the dump, okay? It doesn't go in the garbage. Do not throw computers in the garbage, people.
Unless it's a Mac, then you can throw it in the garbage.
Just kidding. Calm down. Just calm down. Calm down.
PC Master Race.
You also get a little insert paper in here that talks about all of the people that are on your team, basically the people that were involved at Puget Systems in building your particular system. And you can see here we have Beardosaurus Rex. That's Houston Bennett. And he is the guy that actually built the system. And speaking of which, if you guys have 3 hours of free time, I actually have a link in the video description to the entire live stream we did of them building this system and laser engraving the case. It's actually quite cool. Now next, you get a page that actually shows you the pictures of your particular build, and it shows you thermal imaging through FLIR of the machine under load and at idle. Yeah, they give you this information so you can see that even though it's an air-cooled system, you can see where the heat is being built up and how they're dissipating it. And I think that's one of the really cool things that makes Puget Systems unique, is they don't just do conventional testing and say, oh, it's good enough, ship it out the door. They actually do all the thermal and load testing on it, and will move components around and even create custom fan brackets and shrouds to make sure the airflow is perfect. They also give me all of my codes for the operating system and my bundle of free games, which I don't want to put on camera because you guys will all steal it.
You know you will. You know you will. You're gonna go punch it into Steam. If it slip up and I put it in the video, you're just gonna steal it because that's how you do.
And that's okay because I'm not gonna show it. All right, we have some information on where the power buttons are, hard drive, LED, all the connectors on the back. So if you buy one of these for your mother, she can even figure it out. You even have some frequently asked questions for common errors that may occur with the system because of Windows, not because of Puget, because of
Windows, Microsoft.
But one of the really cool things about Puget Systems that I absolutely love is that their support, you will never find better support. If you're ever gonna have somebody build a system, the whole point of having them build the system is to give you support and make sure your system always runs well and can always answer your questions. And I have not heard a single complaint, not a single one, in the entire year that I've been working with them, myself included, that has had a problem with the customer service. It's amazing. I've even gone to their building and watched how they deal with customer service, and it's pretty amazing, guys. They also have a starter guide in the back here that talks about app installer for getting your applications on quick, how to migrate your data from your old PC, even tips for reducing used capacity on SSD drives, because this particular system is all solid state.
Solid state master race, woo!
Now, one of my favorite parts about the build is the manual contains every single test, installation, everything from start to end of the assembly. It tells you when it was done, who it was done by. You can see a lot of Houston, a lot of Kyle in here for the testing, but every single page shows you absolutely everything that was going on. There's a lot of stuff. These guys are literally at their bench while they're building the computer, checking off and putting notes into the system constantly. These guys are meticulous. And if you met the CEO of the company, John Bach, he is about the biggest nerd you will ever meet in your entire life. He loves data like I love chocolate.
And cake. And fajitas. And meatloaf. And mashed potatoes.
Now, pretty much all food. I would like to take a moment to apologize for my perspiration. I had to turn the AC off because it was picking up on the mic too much. So now it's like 90 degrees in here. Not ideal, but it's better than you guys hearing the whole video, right? Am I right?
God, I love air conditioning.
All right, you also get a list of all the temperature curves under load and idle for the system, and they give you the scores for all of the tests that they run, and there's a lot of them. They also have a list of all the manufacturer warranty information, phone numbers, contact numbers, RMA numbers, absolutely everything that you need for the components in this build. And of course the actual invoice. And I paid them $0.
Because sponsorship.
All right, I know you guys are dying to see the actual computer, so I'm just gonna show you really quick what's left in the box. Is all of the power cables for the PSU, some additional expansion, SLI bridges if I wanna add another graphics card, some standoffs, power cable, that's important, we need that, and the manual for the motherboard and extra case parts. All right, that's enough hype, guys. Let's get to the meat and potatoes, shall we? So obviously you guys can tell it's a Silverstone case. It is. And up here on top, there is a Velcro strap holding the box shut. I have never seen a cardboard box with a Velcro strap. That's interesting. But alas, the box is still taped shut, so you know what that means. God, this thing's dull. Man, a spoon would cut better. If you guys ever wondered where I keep Batknife, it's actually under my desk, held by 2 neodymium magnets I stole out of a hard drive. I actually did a video on that too, and I will put a link in the video description. So always expand the video description, because there's just lots of really, really cool stuff in there. Again, guys, please keep all your packaging materials. Yeah. And there she is, boys. You can see right on the front, giant Barnacules Nerdgasm logo with the Puget Systems logo down below. Has a slot load drive on the top, so none of that tray crap. On the back here, we have something that I actually think is brilliant. The power cable plugs in sideways into the unit at an angle so that you can push this thing almost flush up against a wall, as long as all your other connectors are equally clever. You have a sticker on here saying the Puget Systems build number in case you need to call them for support so they can look it up immediately, or if you ever sell the system, somebody can tell them who the build number is. And you also have your Windows 10 code right here, but you guys can't see that. Now, as you can tell, sitting next to Batknife here, the system actually is quite small. It's not very tall, it's not very wide. It's actually perfect for an HTPC application because you can put it into a component rack and still have plenty of space around it. All right, let's open it up and see what's on the inside. All right, guys, we went ahead and took the panels off the case so that you can see the whole inside of the machine and all of the cable management stuff. So the name of this specific build is the Serenity, and if you go to Puget Systems website, you can look it up by that, and there are a lot of different configurations that you can do to suit your needs. Of course, I wanted to do something absolutely insane, so this is pretty close to as insane as it gets. All right, guys, well, in this little case, we have an Asus Maximus 8 Genie motherboard. We have an Intel Core i7 6700K running at 4 gigahertz in this little itty bitty thing. We have 32 gigabytes of crucial memory. It's DDR2133. For the video card, we have an Asus GeForce GTX 980 Ti 6 gigabyte Strix edition. Badass graphics card. Absolutely badass. Now, for the storage in this little system, We have not one, but two Samsung 850 EVO. They're 2 terabyte drives each, giving me 4 terabytes of storage in this little guy. Now the power supply is actually mounted up front in the case, and it's a Seasonic X650 650 watt power supply. And all of the cooling fans on this thing are Noctua NH U12S. Fantastically quiet fans. That's actually the same fan that I'm using in my large William build, although a lot more of them. It also has a quiet package installed on it, like this little foam plate up here on top that replaced the fan that used to be in it. I think it was a 180 millimeter fan, a giant fan. And now they put some of this hard foam in there, and what it does is it cuts down on the noise. Now Puget is well known for making dead silent systems. This thing runs super, super quiet, just like William. You can't even honestly tell it's on unless you're running like full trot with the GPUs at 100%. Now I went ahead and had them install Windows 10 64-bit on it because I'm just not going to fight around with Windows 7 and 8.1 just bugging me to update to Windows 10 all the time. And Microsoft every day is releasing more data about why you shouldn't run Windows 8 and why they're not going to support it anymore and not support Windows 7. It's pretty obvious that Microsoft has a raging nerd hard-on to get you up on Windows 10. So I'm just going to go with the flow, and we'll see how it goes. I'll be honest though, aside from the privacy issues in Windows 10, I've actually been pretty happy with it on William. Now they also installed some LED lighting into the top and the bottom of the case that kind of shines through and just kind of gives it a little bit of an ambience. Now this thing doesn't have a clear shell on it, so you're not getting a lot of that light on the outside, so it's not going to be annoying when I have it in a media setting. Also, one of the things I really like about this is Puget Systems cuts a custom acrylic bracket right here that actually fastens right onto the heatsink. So it takes all that weight of that giant Noctua cooler off that little motherboard and just makes the whole system more rigid, and it gives you much better airflow. You can see it kind of acts like a channel out through the back of the case, pulling air in through the front and out through the back, leaving the GPU its own fresh air down here below. They also cut another little bracket down here that holds up the Strix card. This card weighs a ton. This card almost weighs as much as the freaking case does. So you need this extra little bracket to hold it up. If you don't, the card will literally sag down at an angle and put a massive amount of stress on the slot. Now, obviously, the most important part of this build is it's got my logo on the front. And that was actually etched on with laser beams. And if you guys want to see that, again, go watch the live stream. I'll have it linked down in the video description. And I actually put a camera inside of their laser engraving machine, and you can watch it put that logo on this case in real time. It also has USB 3 ports here in the front and audio jacks. I'm not going to use the audio jacks because I'm going to have it tied into a home theater surround system, but the USB 3 jacks are actually really welcome for connecting external drives and stuff like that to transfer data. Now, earlier I told you about Puget Systems website and how you can go there. You can look up any of your past orders. Like I can open up my status update section and it shows me every single thing that happened with the computer. And it even tells me that at one point in testing, they detected that there was a bad bearing in one of the fans on the GPU. So they went ahead and replaced that GPU fan assembly. I think that's really cool because you're not going to get something mailed to you that you plug in and doesn't work. They put this thing through a grueling amount of testing to make sure that what you get is something that has been heavily, heavily burn tested and isn't making a bunch of noise and clunking about. And it isn't a matter of does it just work. They're legitimately making sure that it works well. If a fan's making a little bit of noise, there's a little squeak here, something isn't working right, it's back to the floor to get fixed, guys. You can also see all the benchmark results up on the webpage, and these are the same printouts that you get in your folder. But in the future, if you do upgrades or anything, or you send it back and have upgrades done, stuff like that, and re-benchmark it, they will update this information up on the website, and that's really cool. And my favorite part is the pictures. You can open up the picture section, and they take your computer that they build and professionally photograph it on a turntable and show you the pictures from all angles. And then, of course, those FLIR photos showing you the heat buildup inside of the case, which I think is a really, really cool thing. And for those of us that like to screw around in the BIOS, overclocking and do stuff like that, they were actually nice enough to put up pictures of literally every BIOS screen on this thing when it left Puget Systems. That way, if you make a change, you forget to back something up, you don't know how to get back to your old BIOS settings, is Puget had it configured for your specific configuration? Just go to the website, open up the pictures, you can see every single BIOS page, and I mean every single one. All right, guys, well, let's pop the plates back on the side of this thing and turn it on. All right, guys, we got her plugged in and powered on, and just like you'd expect, it is dead silent. You can't hear anything. All you can see is this little light bar on the front of the cases on it. It actually contains a hard drive LED too that's just a different colored blue, so you can still tell when there's hard drive activity. You can also see a little light from the LEDs bleeding through the side panel here on the side, but it's not obnoxious. So I'm gonna have this actually in my room when it's gonna be dark when watching movies and stuff like that. So I didn't want an obnoxious amount of light coming out of this thing. So I think that works out really, really well. And you got a little bit of light coming out of here, a little bit of light coming out of here, but nothing obnoxious at all. But if you like obnoxious, Puget Systems would be more than happy to make that happen. And guys, you just won't believe how quiet these Noctua fans are. They move a lot of air. Like right now, a lot of air is blowing out of the back of this case. But as you can tell, I got the lav mic right up to it. That noise you're hearing in the background is actually the fan in my UPS behind that screen. You are not hearing this. This thing is dead silent. Now, granted, when the Strix card gets to 100%, that could change things, and we're gonna explore that in a future video where I actually show you how I set this up in the Nerd Cave bedroom and get all the software set up on it. I'm gonna be using this thing for gaming and live streaming also. Okay, so now we've unboxed the Serenity. You guys have seen the unit with my custom logo, all of the crazy components that went into building this thing, but I'm gonna show you the coolest feature yet that you have not seen, that makes Serenity a really versatile build, especially if you're somebody who likes to go to LAN parties. But this feature I'm about to show you, you just watch. It's gonna be awesome because this makes this the ultimate dream LAN rig. All right, guys, so all you do is just unzip your luggage, open it up, just like so. Grab your Serenity computer, plop it in. Then you just take this little foam insert right here, slide it over the top, pull this up and over. And there you have, ready to take on the plane. All right, so guys, you have to admit that's pretty cool that it comes with its own luggage. And if you buy a Serenity system from Puget, it actually comes with the case. That's included with the build. And it just makes it super portable. If you want to go to LAN parties now, you don't have to worry about sending your computer via freight or driving. You can take a plane. And even if you do want to check it, if you want to check it as luggage, you can, because it's all concealed inside a foam and it's very safe. But this feature was a huge win for me because I go to PDX LAN 4 times a year, and I'm gonna start going to some other LANs that are around the country. And I absolutely hate having to load a full-sized PC and take it everywhere. Being able to put my computer in this case and then just have a little bag with my peripherals on it, like my mouse and keyboard and wires and all that stuff, that just makes this that much better. Now, granted, you're probably not gonna set up a dual card SLI rig or something that's the absolute max gaming performance bleeding edge possible, but with a 4 gigahertz CPU and a Strix 980 Ti, you're gonna be able to play absolutely everything at 1080p. You might not be doing everything at 4K, but to be honest, 4K I still think is kind of a gimmick in the gaming world. I don't see a lot of people gaming at 4K, and even the ones that I see doing it, they're not doing it in NVIDIA Surround or anything like that. And that is coming in the future, but it's not quite here yet. And this computer specifically is designed as my HTPC for my Nerd Cave bedroom, which is a 1080p projector. And it's not gonna be a 4K projector anytime soon, because if you looked at the price of 4K projectors, oh my God.
Those damn 4K projectors make this seem cheap.
All right, guys, well, I hope you enjoyed this unboxing of the Serenity HTPC from Puget Systems. Now, once I use it for a couple of weeks in the Nerd Cave bedroom, I will be bringing you a full review, just like I did with William, with all of the benchmarks, the gaming, some live streaming stuff, and I will give you guys the lowdown on the unit. But I do need to get some time on it first before I do that review. Now, if you guys have any questions about this specific build or any other build, or just questions in general, come on over and hit me up on Twitter. I am at Barnacles, or you can leave a comment down below. I would love to hear your guys' feedback. Also, if you enjoyed the video, please hit that like button or hit the dislike button if you didn't enjoy the video. Also, check the video description for frequently asked questions. I often go through the comments, and the most common questions I get, I take the answers and I put them at the end of the video description, just to make it easier for people to find, and that way you don't have to wait for an answer. Well, guys, I am super excited to get this thing hooked up in the Nerd Cave bedroom, and I'll be taking it to PDX LAN on February 18th. Yeah, that's not too long away. So if you guys are actually gonna be at PDX LAN in Oregon, you're gonna be able to see this guy in person. Also, I would like to give a huge thanks to the sponsors that made this build possible. Puget Systems brought this whole thing together, and they were able to bring in sponsorship from Intel for the CPU, Crucial for the memory, Samsung provided the storage, and Asus provided the GPU. And I want to thank all of you guys for coming together to make this build possible so that I could bring this review to you guys and ultimately bring you guys some amazing live streams and LAN party action from a computer that's not gonna break my back and herniate my discs trying to walk it out to the car. Oh yeah, and thanks to Batknife, because without Batknife, we wouldn't have been able to open that box. And if we couldn't open that box, you wouldn't have a video to watch right now. So thank you, Batknife. Now let's put it back with its neodymium magnets. Hear that? It's magnets. All right, well, obviously I've wasted enough of your time, so let's go ahead and wrap it up. Until next time.
I love you guys.
Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please take a moment and subscribe to my channel. It helps me a lot. Also come over to Twitter. I'm @Barnacles. I'm a real social guy. Also, if you have a couple of minutes, check out some of these many other videos. I made them myself.